Welcome to the Family Transformation Program, Lesson 1. This lesson is all about why are we starting with values? Why are they ground zero for addressing a lot of the issues that we're having with our marriage or with our family? Now, I want to focus first on the reasons why you might be here, the problems. So some of you are here maybe because of marital drift or relationship drift. This is where you and your partner, you just slowly grown apart over the years. You're busy with kids, you're busy with work, your hobbies, and you just find yourself diverging. You don't really know each other anymore. You feel like roommates rather than spouses. And it's just easier to let things go as they are versus overcoming the walls of indifference that have slowly grown between you. And it's not that you've meant it for it to become this way. It's just things have kind of occurred like that. Things are busy at work. Things are busy at home. The kids are going to sports. And so you just don't find yourself spending a lot of time together. Second, you might find that you're always fighting. You just seem to be always at each other's necks. You're really strongly opinionated. You have a lot of ideas on what your spouse should be doing, and they're not doing them, and vice versa. They think that you should be doing things differently, and you believe what you're doing is right. So you just at each other's throats. You're just fighting. You're irritable. Alternatively, you just may be in pain. Perhaps you're struggling with some self-defeating, self-destructive behaviors, or at least your spouse is, or maybe you have. Maybe you both are struggling with issues, and you just don't know how to get out of pain and how to stop hurting each other, even though you want to. You really love each other, and you just want to find a way to get past this, find healing, and start building trust. Finally, you may just really love each other, but you both have a lot of, baggage. You're not really sure how to love each other. You do love each other, but you just don't know how to love each other well. You have some past habits or ways of viewing the world. You don't know how to have difficult conversations, or you don't know how to handle the conflict. So you just find that you're yelling at each other or giving each other cold shoulder. All of these issues can help be understood and resolved by first diving down deep into values. And the reason why values are so foundational is because our beliefs and assumptions about the world, about us, about God, about our partner are so foundational to all of our decisions and how we react to each other. And the reason why values are ground zero is because there's so many different dependencies, so many different thoughts, so many different actions are dependent on what we truly value. If we don't know what we truly value, we can feel aimless, we can feel lost, we don't know what to say no, we feel wish-washy, we go back and forth because we don't know what to anchor to. Additionally, maybe we do know what our values are, and maybe our spouse knows what their values are, but we don't realize how those values are causing us to diverge from each other or to come at each other because our values conflict with each other. And so starting with values allows us and gives us an anchor to give us a reason why to move through the discomfort that change requires. And that's something you're going to have to be willing to do. And it's the values is what's going to give you the anchor to do it, because this is something that's so meaningful, so purposeful to you that you are willing to go through what a lot of us call the river of misery to get to the other side. And this is the Bilbo Baggins of leaving the comfortable cottage, leaving things as they are, the status quo, and really going on this adventure to confront the dragons. But the dragon has a horde of, has the dragon's hoard. It's where all the treasure is. And so my invitation to you today is start with values. And by the end, you will know what is so meaningful to you that you are willing to change, that you're willing to be uncomfortable because you have purpose and you have something that you're willing to sacrifice for. It's the call to adventure. It's the call to find purpose. And that's why we start with values, and we don't start with communication or the 5 love languages or assessing where you're putting your time. It really comes down to this. And so in the next couple lessons, we'll do several different exercises to help you uncover what you truly value and what your priorities look like, and help you identify where your value gaps are. How misaligned are you from your values, because we don't always live our values, because naturally we have these biological impulses. I call them biological biases. This is where a lot of our cognitive bias comes from, to conserve energy, avoid pain, pursue pleasure. These can wreak havoc in our lives if they're not reined in. they serve an important function in our lives, but sometimes we allow these impulses to come in like wrecking balls where they're not welcome. And so we need to figure out how to rein in our evolutionary lower brain and become much more intentional, come to our prefrontal cortex and start living with a lot more intention and out of that kind of our reactionary state of life into coming into a much more proactive, much more empowered way of living where we anchor to what's most meaningful to us rather than reacting out of fear, reacting out of protecting ourselves or allowing things to continue because it's just easier that way, even though it's not leading to the result that we want. So again, in the next lesson, we're gonna go through a couple exercises to help you understand what's important to you and give you the tools to find out what's important to your spouse and to your kids. So I'll see you next lesson, and I'm excited. This is ground zero. This is the springboard to an incredible change.